So, Shang Chi is out this weekend, finally here, and the pre-reviews are fantastic. Many saying this could change the whole layout of the MCU. So, with Shang Chi coming out, why not do a video on the 10 rings? For anyone who doesn't know what they are, I'll go into detail and get you ready for the phenomenon that is Shang Chi. And you can't really talk about the 10 rings without talking about the Mandarin. Oh, fuck off, Trevor, not you. The Mandarin. The real one. So yeah, the Mandarin and the 10 rings go hand in hand. Hand rings? That works, yeah. And they've had a very, very vast and storied history, with the Mandarin being the first human to ever wield the 10 rings. Let's get into that. Before I do, don't forget to like and subscribe. And let me know in the comments down below what you'd like me to explain next. So anyway, back to the video. So the 10 rings made their debut in Tales of Suspense issue 50 with the Mandarin, but their origin was not really fleshed out until Tales of Suspense issue 52, this one here. Now, the origin of the 10 rings is very interesting. So the Mandarin, descendant of Genghis Khan, yeah, pretty badass, finds a broken down alien spaceship in a cave of wonders, and inside was a dragon-like alien creature known as the Maklowans. Now the Maklowans, I'm not sure if this is still canon, but from my memory is the same race as Fin Fang Foom, who everyone knows and everyone speculated might be in this movie after the trailer, but confirmed he's not. So yeah, and upon finding the Maklowan and his spaceship, he finds the spaceship being powered by 10 cylinders, 10 rings. He steals these and becomes the Mandarin. There. He finds what he's looking for, becomes the Mandarin. And let's talk about what the 10 rings do. So the Mandarin, with his genius level intellect and martial arts training, quickly learned what the 10 rings, the cylinders, could do, and he turned them into rings, which you see here, and over time became one of Iron Man's greatest enemies. So what does each ring do? So with these rings, it's also been retconned that inside them is the soul of a departed alien. So let's get into it anyway. On the right hand, you have Ice Blast, Flame Blast, Electro Blast, Mental Intensifier, which increases his psychic powers, and White Light. That's just on one hand. So let's get to the left hand. On the right hand, you have Black Light, Disintegration, Vortex, Impact, and Matter Manipulation, I believe. So yeah, these are extremely powerful, and with the retcon, they're fueled by the souls of dead aliens, which is scary and impressive at the same time. And I'm interested to see whether they'll go with these powers in the movie or what way they're going to be. I already can see they're using them as more bands than rings, but it's very interesting to see which way they go about them, because in the comics they form kind of a bond with the Mandarin that he can actually control them over time and a lot of space. So if someone else is wearing them, he can actually call them to himself because they built this. And it was because of this connection to the Mandarin that they themselves are sentient and built up a hatred to Iron Man. So even when they're not with the Mandarin, they will seek out someone who they believe to be a viable threat to Tony Stark. As seen here, the Mandarin and them rings really don't like Tony Stark. Now, back in 2008, a descendant of Genghis Khan discovering 10 magical rings from a dragon-like alien race that each contains the soul of a dead alien and gives them powers may have been a bit of a stretch. The world wasn't as open to these comic book movies. So instead of the 10 rings being what we see here, we ended up with the 10 rings as a terrorist organization, which, to be fair, was a stroke of genius at the time. And honestly, but there's nothing more you could do. We didn't know whether the world was open to the magic and the vast unbelievableness of what you get from some Marvel comics. So we got the terrorist organization, the 10 rings. Problem being with that is they decided to throw a twisty twist at us in Iron Man 3, which in my opinion not as bad as people make out. And instead of getting the real Mandarin, we got Trevor Slattery. Now, that was your cue. So yeah, we got Trevor Slattery pretending to be the Mandarin, just an actor to distract from Extremis. And let's be honest, At the time, people were pissed, but it was at the best they could do at the moment. They hadn't built up enough, and I'm really happy they waited and built 10 rings since the start of the MCU to now with Shang Chi coming up. But also, the people who were mad, Marvel put out the short All Hail the King, where Trevor Slattery got to meet the real Mandarin, who wasn't happy that his name was being used as a front for this terrorist organisation. So now, yeah, after all that misdirection, the twisty twists, the trying to be clever, and the fan backlash, we are finally getting the real 10 rings and the real Mandarin in the MCU in Shang-Chi. Now, by the time this video releases, it will be, I think, only a few hours before Shang-Chi releases. So everyone, make sure when you can, if you have the money and if you are feeling safe and up to it with the COVID, go see Shang-Chi. Let's support this movie. Let's get more movies like this. These are what we've been calling for years. More comic accuracy. Yes, okay, there's going to be some moves away from it because this isn't 616. This is its own adaptation and its own universe. But this movie, from what I've heard, is top tier MCU. So please, get out and see it if you can. And if you can't, I understand, but let's support this movie. Let's make sure Shang-Chi does extremely well, and Marvel and Kevin Feige and Disney know we want more like this. So yeah, that is the 10 rings. Let me know down in the comments if this was all common knowledge to you, or if I even missed anything, because, you know, research can be hard sometimes. Joke. Yes, let me know down in the comments what you thought. Let me know if there's anything else in Marvel Universe you'd like me to cover and explain. But for now, I've been Peter. This has been the Superior Comic Show. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and don't forget to go see Shang-Chi. Have a superior week.